What day is it with Seth and Kelly? Hey everyone, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back, guys. Happy Thursday again.
How is it Thursday already? Like the week just
I don't even know, Seth. Like I feel like every single weekend is like it immediately goes to the next weekend. Like I feel like the weeks go by so fast.
We have lost the cat already. I'm sorry for everyone who missed him.
Oh man.
It's okay.
Part of the show.
I know. He's not cooperating today. It's okay. We already have 5 people watching though. That's like a record for the first minute. Let's play the theme song one more time since everyone missed it. What day is it with Seth and Kelly?
I love our theme song.
I really do too. That's why I feel like it's good to play it. Well, great. 5 people. That's better than 4.
Yeah, it is better than 4. So how are you doing, Seth? How's your week been? I'm sure it's been super fast, as mine has been as well.
I don't know. The week just kind of flies by. I feel like I was on the roof yesterday while Emmy was doing her live Zumba from the apartment, and it was just me. So I took off my mask. I was like, I don't think I need to wear the mask if nobody else is here. And I read for like an hour on the roof, and it was mildly sunny, but not too sunny. And I was like, this is great because like, you know, I'm not a huge outside person because I have massive allergies or whatever, but like, it's good to go outside for like an hour a week.
I think it's important right now to make sure we at least get out for a little bit each day. I mean, it's starting to get really beautiful out finally. Like, I feel like it finally feels like spring. So, I mean, I've been taking walks. I usually keep my mask on, but I mean, if you have like a private area you could sit at and still be outside, like that's amazing. It's so funny though, because I wanted to share a funny story with you. There's these kids that live next door to me and they're all outside playing right now and like singing and just like they've been riding bikes all day. It's like they're super noisy, but it's adorable. And this guy just came out, one of the neighbors, and like gave them like something to play with. And I don't even think like they were his kids. He was just a neighbor, and he just was like excited to see kids having fun. And it was just like a really beautiful moment that I just witnessed outside of my window. I feel like people I just feel like people are just starting to really enjoy the beauty of like springtime and nature, and the fact that we all can't enjoy that as often right now because we're trying to stay inside as much as possible. So it's like nice to see people interacting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, there was a concert out of my window. Like I think it was Tuesday right before I went on with my showcase. I think one of my neighbors upstairs, they blasted music. They were playing guitar and piano and stuff. And then they had a sing along of Lean on Me. And I was like, this is great. I hope it ends by 7. And then it did. And I was like, phew. Your mom says she can't see or hear us. That's weird. I can see and hear us.
Yeah,
have you turned your volume on? She can't hear that.
Mom, you might want to turn the volume on.
Here, I'm going to
on the Facebook page.
I just commented, have you turned the volume on? But she says, can you see my comment? Yeah, we see the comment.
Maybe my mom.
Is anyone else having issues? We have 6 other people watching.
We'll find out.
1 on YouTube, 6 on Facebook. Does anyone else watching can comment and say they can hear us? I feel like I'm going to put my comment up there. Have you turned the volume on?
Oh my God. Actually, Seth, you know what happened? Maybe she can't. No, she should be able to see it because I can access us. It's on
us. I can hear you. This is a wonderful discussion. Oh, Nicole can hear. So like at least one person can hear us.
Maybe there's something wrong with my mom, so I don't know.
Oh, she can now. She can now. All right.
Well, thank you, Seth, for helping my mom.
And Wilson, who's going to be our guest in a few weeks, says all good here. Thank you guys for responding. Here, why don't we put up our banners for a bit? This is my banner, and then I'll put up Kelly's banner. So they actually announced they are opening Bryant Park, and I was surprised, but They have a webcam. Yeah, this is a true thing. Actually, let me find it. Google YouTube Bryant Park Live, and they actually have a webcam at the park. I can share it right now. Share it. Add to stream. Yes. Look at this. So this is live at Bryant Park right now.
Oh my goodness.
So you can be like, do I want to go today? is there enough room? And so you could say, hey, look, there's room right there. Maybe I'll bring a blanket. This is more people than was there yesterday, actually.
Yeah, that's crazy. I
But
mean, that's kind of awesome. I mean, I just hope everyone is still social distancing.
I know I want to zoom in. It's like, can we
Yeah,
zoom in? If
right?
there's somebody with a mask, I can see her walking.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
So you can tell you're like, it's a really nice day out. Or
Yeah.
is Bryant Park open enough for me to sit in? And you can be like, yeah, looks like I can stay 6 feet apart from people in Bryant Park.
I think honestly, if people are still social distancing, then there's nothing wrong with that, honestly.
Right.
And
Well, I
that,
think we're going to be opening up like a little bit more, hopefully.
yeah, hopefully. I mean, I think I slowly see things coming back. I slowly see some small stores and like coffee shops that were closed before reopening. So that's kind of reassuring to see like some things going back to normal. It makes it feel less crazy and so different, you know?
Very, very slowly. And we'll probably have to wear masks for quite some time.
Yes. But at least, you know, we're working on it and we're working on staying safe. And that's the most important thing. And today, what are we talking about today? Seth, we're talking to some people working from home with their own businesses.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Well, we have a weird combination of different people working from home. We have they're all three of my wonderful friends, but we have one who usually travels a lot, but she is focusing on what used to be her side career as a coloring book maker. So we're very excited to hear about that. And then we have someone who works as a talent agent, and she's still working from home, but of course, there's not a lot of auditions, but she can still work a little bit. And then my friend Dennis, he's like still 100% has a job, totally working from home. Like this is his lunch break. I'm like, that's very interesting too. I actually tried to get all people like Dennis, and they were too busy because they're actually still working.
Wow. Well, this is interesting because we have a mix of all different situations right now. So that'll be great to hear from all different sides of the spectrum with how our jobs have changed or evolved, or you know how to adjust to this whole time.
I know it's like I feel like I work from home nonstop, but none of it is paying me. So it's like
you're creating passion and art from home.
Yes, exactly. While I collect my unemployment, happy to report my unemployment finally came through. It took 7 weeks.
That's great, Seth.
Yeah, so now I'm like, okay, I can pay my rent. Like, obviously, I would rather be doing live shows, but you know, it's weird. We're doing this without an audience. Like the audience, there's like a little bit of an energy, and of course, everyone has stopped commenting at this point, so we don't know what they're feeling, what they're thinking. But just a reminder to those 7 people now watching: you comment, we'll put it on the screen, and we'll comment back to you.
Yeah, and
so
we want
exciting.
to be interactive as well. Like we want our viewers to be able to express how they're feeling and ask us things if they want. That's what's so great about this whole feature. So don't be shy. I know that's like easier said than done. But,
I know. Usually your mom has commented a lot more than this, but that's okay. I know my father doesn't watch these live because he watches something on MSNBC at 4, and he's like, he always watches this later tonight. He says, I don't have anything to watch Thursday night, so he like saves this for later.
Aww. Well, that's still sweet that he tunes in, and you know, people have stuff they're doing, you know.
We did get a hi, Seth, from Laura's mom is watching.
Hi Yolanda, thank you for saying hello, and thank you for tuning in. Yeah, I honestly, Seth, I just started applying to more teaching jobs today because I was
cool.
I want to use this time to like utilize the skills I already have and just see if I could get any more at-home work. And there's a ton of companies looking for online teachers, which, you know, I feel kind of privileged to at least have already had some experience doing that.
Is that more of the teaching in China stuff?
Yeah. Basically,
so you have to get up super early because they're like 12-hour difference.
Yeah, that's always the rough part. but I love it. So I think it's like so interesting that we're all adjusting to working from home, but then some of us are still just out there working. Like it's so interesting that we're all in different positions now. But you know, it's, you know, even though you said, you know, you're working and working, but not collecting money for it, just unemployment, you're still making art, Seth. So I think that's always a good thing, no matter what.
Well, thank you. Your mom says she thinks it'll be interesting to see how we can all go into restaurants again. I think that's a go, not a ho.
I'm pretty sure she meant go.
Yeah, ho is a different connotation than go. I don't know what your mom does for a living, but I assume she meant go.
Pretty sure she meant go, unless there's something you're not telling me, Mom.
I mean, we don't know. All right, well, I think this is as good a time as ever to bring on our guests.
Absolutely.
So our first guest today is a product specialist and presenter at trade shows, auto shows, and she travels for work more than 200 days a year. I can't read. At least she did those things in the before time. Now that we're all at home, every one of those events is canceled, so she spends her days learning what an actual schedule looks like as she builds her activity book business and spends hours researching what people might actually love to play with.
She's a co-founder of Mission to Mars, a Queens-based theater company, which she currently still runs in quarantine from Manhattan via Zoom. Speaking of running, her favorite hobby is running, which is hard with a mask. So she balances social distanced outdoor exercise with home workouts.
And she's obsessed with many cheeses, but definitely not all. And her not at all guilty pleasures have been wearing no makeup and watching every episode of Sex and the City for the first time ever. Gosh, I watched that when it was new. She tearfully finished it this week and wishes there were more. There are 2 movies. The first one's all right. The second one's horrible. Please welcome Laura Pestronk. Hey, Laura, how's it going?
It's good. How are you?
Thanks for chatting with us today.
Of course.
Nice to meet you. First of all, listen, I am a runner too, and I have been really trying to not run because I can't imagine what it would feel like with a mask. And I've been doing at-home workouts as well, so I'm in the same boat as you. Mm-hmm. So that's awesome. And also I feel you with the not wearing makeup thing. Most days I don't, unless I have my talk show with Seth. So we have things in common for sure.
I never wear makeup. Ever.
Really, Seth?
Yeah, unless I'm filming my sitcom pilot, but then it's usually just powder.
Makes sense. Cool. Well, thank you so much for talking with us today. So tell us a little bit about your business and how did you get started with it?
So I have 2 different jobs. So the business that ended basically once we went into quarantine was working as a product specialist and a presenter at trade shows and auto shows and traveling all around to different events that happened and speaking about, it could be cars or trucks or helping people with medical equipment or helping people learn about food. But once that happened, once everything happened with the pandemic, all those events slowly but surely completely shut down. So now I have been working on what was just sort of a hobby side business and trying to build it into full-time business. It's an activity book business. Also, I make mugs as well. There's other things. It's not just activity books. It's kind of e-commerce. So yeah, so I've just been doing that all the weekdays.
Jonna Davis says, Laura in the house.
Hi, Jonna.
I assume you know who that is.
I do.
So what is your best-selling product now?
So I sell all kinds of different coloring books are probably my best selling products right now. I also make things I used to make planners, but now they're sort of worthless. I
love planners. I have a planner.
What are we planning though?
I have a paper planner. Are you kidding me? My week is so full. Look at this. Facebook, then I do my workout, then I have the song cycle today, then the talk show, then the game night. My days are full. I'm recording my podcast this weekend, then Zumba Sunday night. And then you have to write in all the live streams things. Look at this. There's a Smash concert that's streaming next Wednesday. And then I'm performing in a charity concert next Thursday, which I'll promote more later. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I actually like planners, but more in the form of a calendar. So if you make calendars, that's really awesome. Also, I love coloring books. I've been doing a lot of coloring during quarantine just to relax me. How did you get started in creating coloring books? That's so cool.
Yeah, so I had a friend who had started doing journals and also planners, and then she started branching into coloring books. And I'd known her for years, and she'd done other things online, and I'd always wished I'd gotten involved in some of the stuff she was doing. She never really offered, but then one day she was suddenly like, hey, would you like to learn how to do this? And I was like, yes. And
Kelly's mom says, that's cool, Laura.
Oh, thanks, Kelly's mom. And then hi to my mom, too, who said hi before. My dad is probably
She said hi to me, not to you.
Oh, okay,
See, just hi, Seth. No Laura mentioned.
Thanks, Mom.
And Kelly's mom also loves her planner.
Yeah, my mom does live by a planner. That's true.
And coloring books.
So your friend was originally doing it, and then she kind of taught you how to do it?
Yeah, she started to teach me, and then she actually kind of stopped a few years ago, but I've just still been going on and doing it and continuing. So
that's awesome. Do you have I'm sure you have a personal website and Instagram and stuff with all of your books, or
my books are actually on Amazon. So yeah, I could give it to you. We could post it later. But yeah,
that's awesome. I want to check it out. So in a way, you went from traveling all around for your work to now making a hobby of yours into an actual career change for this time period. How has that felt? How has that been different, or a learning experience, or?
It's been weird. It's definitely been adjustment.
You used to go out of flying all the time. Your apartment is right by the airport.
Yes, I'm very close. I was very close to LaGuardia. When the quarantine happened, I actually am quarantined with my boyfriend now in Manhattan. So I was in Queens. So it's Manhattan. Yes. So I am in Manhattan. I don't need to be as close to the airport anymore, because before it was very important that I was right there, able to get there by bus. I could get to JFK or LaGuardia pretty easily. And then my place is an elevator. If I have, suitcases, he's in a 5-story walk up. That would have been really hard going, because I could come back and turn around and go back to the airport in about 14 hours, really quick turnarounds with the shows. So it's been really nice not to travel actually as much. It's just been weird to think that kind of job may be the last to come back, because it's big events, thousands of people. Some are smaller than others. And, they're all over. You never know what state might be like, hey, it's okay, we'll have a show with lots of people. But that sort of scares me. So I go back and forth thinking will they come back before 2021 or even fall 2021? Because they're going to be the last thing. So
theater's pretty late on the list too.
Theater and my job and my old job, or my non-happening job, go together, because actually when the last show that I was at shut down, it was March 13th. We were in Minneapolis Auto Show. Everything's shutting down around us. All the other shows started to cancel, but that one was still going. And my manager is they're not going to shut this show or the New York Auto Show down. They'd have to shut down Broadway. They'd have to shut down Madison Square Garden. And then suddenly they did. And then they shut down New York Auto Show, or they moved it to the end of August.
Laura's mom says to Laura.
Hi, Mom. And Dad, if you're there.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a little nerve-wracking and scary, especially when you're more on the entertainment side of things. And I'm sure by doing these shows, you're obviously speaking to people about something you're passionate about. You're expressing yourself. And Seth and I both, we're both actors and artists as well. So we understand that, and we understand how everything is kind of on hold for the arts right now. And it's definitely easy to get in your head about it, but it's really cool that you found something different to kind of focus your time on and experiment with for right now. That must be a good feeling to have that, because I know my passions, if I didn't have them right now, I would be so miserable.
Yeah.
So I'd be going crazy.
No, it's kind of the thing that keeps me together. As I said in the bio, it's a schedule that I have. And something I've realized is that I was doing it during the shows. I was kind of trying. I'd get back from a show and I'd be like, I'm going to work on these books. I'd go to the gym, then work on the books. And, but it was very in and out and hard. And now I'm working on it almost every day. And I could what's crazy is I learned I could keep doing it. So I was like, there's always more. It continues to be more to do, more to grow. So that's sort of great.
That's awesome. That kind of sounds Seth and I were talking about this last time too. I feel like quarantine, in a way, even though our main jobs are on hiatus, it's given us so much more time to focus on activities we don't normally have time for. That's how we started doing this.
That's true.
Seth, you're involved in so many things right now.
I know. I just keep coming up with things to do. I talked to my acting friends and I was like, do you guys want to do some virtual play readings? And they were like, sure. It's I'm paying for this service that we use called StreamYard. And I was like, let's use it as much as possible if I'm paying for it. Because that's like, I like to maximize my money. You know, if I'm paying for something, I want to get as much out of it as I can.
Yeah, of course.
And your mom says, if it wasn't for all of you artists and actors, we would be miserable through all this. So thank you. And then it's an empty square, which means that it's an emoji that the StreamYard system doesn't know. So it's a newer emoji.
It's an emoji with like the little hearts all around
But I bet you if we go on Facebook later, it will be there.
Yes, you'll probably be able to see it. Thank you, Mom. That's so sweet of you to say. That's really awesome, though. So for your coloring books, do you design what kind of images are in them? Like, do you design them yourself, or is it more...
No, I'm contracting out artists to do it. I'm actually no good at fine arts. I am also an actor and a director and have done a lot of creative things, but fine arts are not my strong point. So I got...
what a coincidence. Every single one of my friends works in the arts or has at some point.
Weird.
What a coincidence.
That's what I've been noticing so far. Everyone we've interviewed so far.
That's because that's who my friends are.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, so I just pick subjects that I think people might like and different kinds of things. And a lot of it is research. Like I sit and research for hours. It's one of my favorite things to do anyway. So it really works out. Yeah, I love researching. So it like plays into it. It could be dangerous because I could just be like, all right, I'm going to figure out the best way to do it. But I have researched for like 8 hours on like what's the best blender to buy, you know, like or something dumb. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't do that. I do not have the patience for that.
Yeah, but I'll do it with keywords. I'll do it with, you know, search engine analytics, like having people find the books and stuff like that. So that's actually useful. I try not to let it go too far, but yeah, it's fun.
So you're trying to figure out what topics people are most likely to buy. Then you have a list of artists and you go, please make a coloring book about the planets or something.
Yes. Like, in fact, I just did one about space. So
oh, really?
Yeah,
I just pulled it out of my ass.
See, maybe you want it.
Your mom wants some math coloring books.
I made that one too.
Oh, really?
Help me with it.
Oh, well, then she knew. She was just saying she wasn't requesting it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. See, I was a little confused because I thought you were drawing the coloring books, but you're doing more like the research and like business end of it.
Yes.
That's awesome because it must be really interesting to realize like what people are more drawn to. You do a lot of like cats and dogs, like cute puppies.
They're my big ones. I mean,
yeah, I feel like that would be like
each type of dog. Yeah.
Aw. I'm a big dog person, so that's really cool though. That's awesome. Do you think when quarantine ends that you're going to, if you know, you do go back to your jobs where you're traveling more and doing the shows, do you think you're still going to keep up with this as much, or maybe?
I mean, I don't know. I think so. I want to. It's just when I travel as much, it just can't happen as much. But yeah, I do think that my mind is starting to change this summer based on what's happening now. I mean, a lot of things have changed, and part of it is seeing that I could possibly do this full time. But I don't know. And I don't know what's going to happen with the shows. So I'm not sure. And I'm not sure if they're just going to reopen and it's still not going to be safe. So I'm not sure. Yeah.
That's true. I mean, no one's really sure right now, but
yes. But one thing I am sure of is we're about to go to our second guest.
All right.
So thank you, Laura. We'll bring you back at the end for our round table. All right. I think Kelly has the first one for this.
Sure, 1 second. My phone's just a little bit. Oh my gosh, those kids outside are so loud. I'm so sorry if you guys are.
That's all right. We can hear a little bit about it, but
they're very hyper today. I don't know what's going on.
They know you're recording a talk show right now.
They know. They subconsciously know. They're like, let's ruin it. Okay, so our next guest today started singing and dancing in the womb. Literally. His mom was a choir director, and he kicked hard when the tenors were flat.
A fan of both Stevens, his dream role is Joanne and Company. Quarantine time is spent cultivating a sourdough starter called Bridget Bardot, learning Spanish, and crocheting mask covers. Please welcome Dennis Fowler.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks,
Dennis. Nice to see your dog there.
Yes. Henry insists on being part of every Zoom or screen time that I'm in. He is the center of attention. So,
Oh, what's his name?
Henry?
Henry. Hi, Henry.
Yeah. So his Instagram hashtag is Henricus Rex.
Oh, I would have put that up.
I'm gonna have to follow him. Oh, is he a Pomeranian or a Chihuahua?
He's a Pomeranian. Yeah, both. Exactly. Yeah, good call.
I have 2 little dogs, so I know my little dogs.
Fabulous.
Oh, so cute. So thanks for talking with us today, Dennis. Tell us a little bit about your business and how you've been feeling during quarantine and how it's been going for you.
Yeah, so I actually work for a tech company in finance technology, managing AI software.
Oh, wow.
So
I
it's
didn't
a
know
little different from the artistic bend that I used to do. And that I would say that what business as usual was is no longer, and we've had to adapt, adjust, and move on with new things, right? So now that everyone's working from home, we're looking at expenses related to working from home. We're looking at, monitors, keyboards, ergonomic things. People used to travel. Why are we still seeing travel expenses?
Wow.
Nobody should be traveling. Yeah. So
exactly. Wow. So you're really on the technical side of all of this. That's interesting.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So how do you feel? Well, actually, Seth, you said that that Dennis, you're still pretty much working, right? Like work hasn't really changed for you?
No, if anything, it's gotten busier, a little more stressful.
Wow.
Yeah. So more to monitor, more to audits, more parameters. I won't say who I work for, but I will say that with our IPO last year,
it's a secret.
It's a secret.
Okay.
We've had to create new structures for the company, and everything just seemed to align at once. So,
by the way, Kelly's mom says, "Hi, Dennis, a fellow crocheter. Crochet Henry a sweater."
Oh.
Absolutely.
Oh, we do have to talk about the mask crocheting. Yeah, my mom loves to crochet, and she's my biggest fan, clearly, on here. That's very interesting, though. So do you feel that things have gotten more stressful because of people relying so much on technology now, and like everyone just, I mean, if we didn't have our phones and our computers and everything that we're using, and like, I think about it all the time. If this was the 90s, people would be going crazy, right? Do you think that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, my biggest gripe used to be that everybody is out to dinner together, but they're all on their phone. And now that's the only way for people to interact and socialize, right? And I think that human interaction, that human element has been removed even further now. So we can't even reach out and touch our friend's hand or thwomp their forehead across the table because, there is no interaction. So yeah.
No touching, no touching.
No touching, no touching.
It's like we're in prison.
No whammies.
Seriously, it's so crazy. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So what for a typical day at work for you, what do you feel you guys are discussing? You said you're discussing you said things have been getting more crazy and more hectic pretty much. In what?
Yeah. I think a general assumption that people had more time led to more projects. So we've started to just sort of get a bigger workload. And instead of, going into the office at 8 in the morning and leaving at 5 or 3 and going down to the bar, we're all more sort of maybe 7:30 in the morning to 7 at night. It's harder to unplug, which also is kind of leaving people a little batty as far as focus and interaction levels. So
yeah, absolutely.
Would you say that you like this better now, or you prefer going into an office?
It's really funny, Seth. My grandmother, I talked to her yesterday, and she asked me how I liked it. And if you had asked me 6 months ago, I would have said I would love to work from home. But 6 months ago, we could all go out after we worked from home and go hang out at a bar. I would be fine with that. The problem now is that I can't do that. It's just me and Henry here, and we're just sort of, that's it.
Yeah.
You try to talk to somebody on the sidewalk or on the street, and they're like, "Why the hell are you talking to me?"
Yeah, that's
so
honestly how it feels too, which is crazy. And it's like you have so much time to just sit with yourself and your own thoughts. And it's like, it really makes you realize how much you miss just social interaction and how important that is for us as human beings.
Absolutely.
I kind of have enjoyed being at home because it's given me a lot of time to like really think about myself and learn things about myself and work on my projects. But like sometimes I sit here and I'm just like, I want someone to hug me. Like I just want a hug.
100%, yeah. And I have social anxiety, right? So, but I distract myself by overdoing the social so that I don't have to focus on me. Now, what else do I have to do, right? I mean, I can only watch the Golden Girls so many times.
That's a great show. I'm rewatching it now, actually. I'm in season 4. I've never, like, I watched it when I was growing up, but I have never watched it straight through when I was older. And it still holds up.
Absolutely, 100%. So I've finished season 7 again. But
how many times is this for you?
7, 8.
Wow.
I forget. Yeah, no. I used to take care of an Alzheimer's patient when I lived in New York sometimes, and that was his favorite thing to do. So we would watch The Golden Girls because it was familiar. We would watch Sondheim because it was familiar. And every time Bobby said, "But who will take care of me?" he would say it before Bobby would. And it was just like, oh,
wow.
You remember.
Wow. So that like triggered something for him memory wise. That's amazing.
Exactly. And I feel like these familiar shows are cathartic for us right now for that same reason, right? It's a reminder of, you know, what they mean to us and what it means to reach out and connect with someone.
Absolutely.
Kelly's mom also loves the Golden Girls.
Well, we're all big fans here. That's really beautiful, though, what you said, because I really do feel like we're learning now that, you know, even just through entertainment and things that we equally enjoy, we're finding ways to still connect with each other and be close with each other and have things in common. Like even sometimes just like talking to your family, like, what have you been binging on Netflix? It's a way to catch up and to be like, okay, we're staying in each other's lives somehow, you know?
Yeah, giving recommendations for shows, then you can talk about the shows.
It sounds like
absolutely
minor, minuscule thing when life is normal, but now that we're all quarantined, it's like such an important thing. So that was
think Betty White is doing a new Lifetime movie, I think I read.
Is she?
Yeah, she's like 96 now. She's great. You know, I have a letter from her.
Oh.
Dennis must know. I posted it. Yeah, I wrote her. I read one of her books, and she said she loves getting handwritten letters in the mail, and she responds to them. And I was like, why not? So I wrote her a handwritten letter, and it was a poem. And she also likes doing crossword puzzles. So I mentioned how I also love doing puzzles. And she wrote me, it's on my wall. It's over there. A handwritten letter, and she sent me a signed photo with her and her dog.
Aw, that's so cool.
I do remember it.
She's a really nice person. It's like, I don't write that many people, but usually you don't get responses, especially not a full letter response.
That is really exciting and awesome and something you should cherish for sure.
Oh, and now Kelly's mom said that is precious, Dennis. That was probably something we talked about 3 minutes ago. But, you know.
That seems to be how it goes. Well, actually, speaking of, how did you start crocheting masks? That's cool. I want to get a cute one because I'm really tired of the depressing ones.
Yeah, I wanted something a little more colorful to go across the old face when I have to go out for prescriptions or, you know, groceries or what have you. And sometimes delivery is just not an option, right? So I was like, well, what can I do that is economic, cheap? Oh, I have all this extra yarn. I mean, how hard can it be? So I deconstructed one of the
That's
N95
what she
masks.
said.
Oh,
Thank you.
That's what he said. So I deconstructed an N95 mask and just sort of created a template and then just started crocheting it. And I went out with one and people were like, oh, that's fun. That's cool. And I'm like, ooh, I have something here. So I just kept doing it.
That is skill. I'll say that much. I've tried to crochet like once in my life and it was a scarf that was like zigzaggy with like holes in it. And I was like, this is my attempt. My mom's amazing at it though. But
speaking of your mom, she says Henry is adorable, all caps. How is he just sitting there?
How is he just sitting there? He's been so
3
good.
exclamation points. I feel like your mom is like
he's...
part co-host of this show.
I love it. We'll have to have like a crochet and Golden Girls night with your mom.
Yes!
I love it.
I have a bunch of friends who crochet. Maybe we should do a crochet episode.
Get a bottle of rosé, Golden
I love it.
Girls, some
Crochet,
avocado.
rosé, and gourmet. Yes.
All right. Well, on
Gourmet.
that note, Dennis, thank you so much. We'll bring you back at the end for our roundtable. And we're going to move on to our final guest. Our final guest tonight is a senior theatrical agent for Stewart Talent in New York City, where she represents clients for theater, television, and film.
She has a bachelor's degree in film and a master's degree in educational theater.
In addition to her 16-year career as an agent, she can be found teaching classes in business for actors, actor packaging, improvisation, acting, and audition technique, as well as working with university conservatory students across the country.
She has been waiting out the quarantine in suburban New Jersey, binge-watching television shows from the 80s and 90s.
Please welcome Nicole Wichinsky. Hey, Nicole.
Hi. Oh, Hi. So I have to segue. It's really funny that your whole conversation with Dennis was about crocheting, because I was going to add that I've also been crafting and crocheting.
Oh!
Oh,
Here, hold on. I'll do this one, and then you can see a little bit.
Squares.
are you making a blanket?
And also making tassels.
I want to make pom-poms. I am not crafty. I wish I was crafty. My mom is like the only one that's crafty. I'm like crafty in like the artistic like video sense, I guess, but I don't, and performing, but like I can't crochet. So that's amazing.
I've been taking lots of crafting classes online and doing that, and that's been one of my various things that I've been doing.
Paula Nancy says, yay, Nicole. You know her? All right.
That's my friend Paula. You know Paula.
Oh, I know Paula.
Canada.
And Kelly's mom is excited for another fellow crocheter.
I'm actually more of a knitter, but I've been doing crocheting is one of the things that I've kind of been doing more during this time.
What are the differences between crocheting and knitting? Not to nitpick.
Okay, no. Knitting is 2 needles, and you pick up the yarn, and then crochet you do with a hook. One hook. And you pull. It's just different ways. And then crocheting, you hook into the stitch, and knitting, and you can go any way into the stitch. And then knitting, it's how many times in the stitch, and knitting, it's where in the stitch. It's very confusing to explain, but
yeah,
there's different looks and different stitches.
My mom has tried to teach me many times because I think she wanted to like pass down the crocheting gene. So like whenever I have kids, like I can teach them to crochet, and I was just like, it's not happening. It's not happening. But that's
maybe you like knitting.
I actually tried knitting once, and I think I found it easier. So maybe it's like you're either a knitter person or a crocheting person, depending. But tell us a little bit about your history with your business. How did you get into being an agent? It really sounds like you have an extensive theatrical background, and especially in TV and film and stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up acting, doing lots of shows, and my parents wouldn't let me go to college for acting. They said I had to get a real degree. Not that I obviously acting's a real degree, but so I went to film school. And while I was in film school, I really found that I liked working with actors, and I just have a knack for it. So I did an internship while I was in college with a casting firm. And then when I graduated, I moved in. I applied for internships at casting offices and talent agencies. And I got one at my previous office where I was for 15 years up until a year ago. So that's I just kind of fell into it, but I found I loved it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And Kelly's mom also knits, just so everyone is clear.
I mean, we can call this the
We'll have to do a knit along one night.
Yeah. That's so basically now that you're working from home, like what are you, so as Seth said, there's not many auditions going on right now. So what is still going on in the industry that you could talk a little bit about, or what has changed?
I mean, I think most of what's going on now is in the voiceover realm. So our office has voiceover and digital. So we've had a lot of business in voiceover and digital. Going on digital would be like influencers and things like in that aspect, things that you can do from home and that are keeping people busy. And you know that, so we've been doing that. And as far as our department, where we don't have a lot going on as far as auditions, we're keeping busy trying to make sure all of our materials are updated so that when we are ready to go, everything is, you know, things that we don't necessarily always have time for or that we wish we could really sit and think about more often. So we're just making sure everything is ready to go and catching up on anything like that. But just because there isn't work to do doesn't mean there aren't things to do.
Oh my God, absolutely. That's such a busy job and you probably have so much on your plate. So it must feel nice to have so much time to just like sort through things and organize things. And
make sure the reels are updated, headshots are updated, that, you know, we have offices across the country as well. So making sure if we have clients that are with multiple offices that we all have the same things and just things like that, that maybe on a daily basis you aren't necessarily checking. We have time now.
That's great. That must kind of be a little relieving in a way. I mean, or a little intimidating because you probably have a lot of work that you're catching up on. That's really
these are projects we're you know, sharing as a group and everybody's doing, and it's also a good time for us to also check in with clients, make sure they're doing okay. So much of our job is really being a source of support for our clients.
Like a therapist.
That's what we're doing now. Sorry?
You're like a part-time therapist.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Therapist, right.
Well, that's really cool that you mentioned that voiceover is doing well, because Seth and I actually met in a voice acting class. That's how we know each other. Yeah. So I mean, it kind of makes sense because, you know, that's working from home in most voice acting jobs.
I submitted for a few voiceover.
Yeah, exactly. Most people, most of my voiceover artist friends actually record in their closets. So they make like an actual like home studio in there. So
yeah, I've recorded a few of auditions in the last week for voiceovers.
Yeah, it's a good time for it. I've been doing some projects too, just like collaborating and stuff with friends. But it's definitely that's at least people are still getting out there the best that they can, you know.
Now's the time for people to really create their own work too. People making, you know, you've seen people creating webisodes. Seth is the king of it, of creating your own work.
Thank you. I have created quite a lot of things.
I've been watching his whole quarantine song series this whole time. I love them. They're so
thank you. Yes, well, when I hit a dozen, I'm going to hopefully do a virtual concert of them with some of. I really want to do it with some of the Love Quirks people. But I haven't asked them yet, so it's not happening yet.
So what would you say Nicole, what would you say your hope is for the industry when things slowly start to get back to normal? Obviously it would be for everything to be up and running again.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really good opportunity for us to really take a look at pay structures. You know, I think that especially off-Broadway actors, for example, have never made enough money to make a living.
Yeah.
A lot of those contracts are $300-400 a week. So I think it's a good time for that. I think it's a good time to really look at cleanliness of facilities. I mean, equity does take a lot of looking at that in SAG-AFTRA, but I think it's a good time for that. I hope that we can get back to work making art how we were. And, you know, there's a lot to consider before we're able to reopen theaters and go back to shooting. And that cleanliness on set, the health of our actors emote, they cry, they sweat, they cry on each other, they spit on each other. If you're in an audience, actors are spitting when they perform to enunciate. So it's making sure things like that are healthy and safe for our actors to continue. And then that also goes with the staff, with the crew, you know, they're all on top of each other and helping each other and making sure that's safe. So it's not even just a matter of, for theater, getting the audience structured, there are a lot of things to consider. And then if we have to structure things in theater like seating, then how can we make sure that the seating is paying for the show?
Yeah.
Because it's a lot less seats. So I think I'm really hoping that we're able to come together and work together to find good, long-lasting options for these, and maybe things that were better than before.
Absolutely. That's beautifully said, because that's my hope too. Like, I really feel like we're going to come out of this, hopefully, if we stay positive, as like healthier people who are more in tune with keeping our bodies healthy and our minds healthy, and being more aware of keeping other people healthy, you know?
That's true.
And yeah, absolutely. So
if people were as conscientious and germophobic as I am, nobody would have gotten sick at all. I don't like shaking hands. I shake someone's hand, I go hand sanitizer in the corner so they don't see me. But every single time I touch somebody, I'm like, scrub, 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 scrub.
Yeah.
I'm like staring at my Purell bottles right now on my windowsill. I think we're all going to be...
I coincidentally, right before this all happened, I had passed Bath and Body Works in the mall. I was like, oh, their sanitizers smell good. And I grabbed like a whole bunch of them. So I
my God. Just for fun. Well, that was lucky.
It's like you were a soothsayer.
Huh?
It's like she was a soothsayer.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I did a Bath and Body Works shopping spree before this. And also it said in about your bio that you're living in New Jersey right now. What part of New Jersey?
Central Jersey, East Brunswick, right smack dab in the middle.
Right by my parents, because that's...
I live in New Brunswick, so I know where that is.
Oh, Seth and I went to high school together.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome.
She's known me a long time.
A long time.
We won't say how many years.
Wait, Seth, were you studying theater too?
No, I got a degree in computer science from MIT.
Oh.
I also had Jewish parents like Nicole, so I was told to get a real degree. I also got a degree in music composition, and I went to MIT because it was one of the only top schools that let you double major in an art and a science easily. Most of them, there was a lot of paperwork to try to get a double major. And MIT was like, totally get one in both. And I said, great, I'm going there. It's full of quirky, weird people like me.
So my degree's in communications, and at University of Miami, where I went to get a degree in communications, you have to double major in something arts and sciences. So that's where I snuck in my theater arts double major.
Exactly.
Mom
if you're
and
going to
Dad.
pay for college, you should get 2 majors. As far as I'm concerned, you're spending $120,000 on college. Get 2 majors.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I went to music school for a while when I started college, and I decided that I wanted to act instead. But I already had all these music credits, so I got my minor in music. And I'm a music teacher now from home for some extra money. So it's like, I think every life skill you learn comes in handy and becomes part of like who you are, and is something you could take with you as you move through your life. So I think 2 majors is always a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
all right. So it is now time for our round table. So I'm going to bring Laura and Dennis back in. How exciting. Oh, looks like Kelly has the first round table question today.
Yes. Ooh. Okay. What new hobby do you have? Well, that's funny because we all talked about crocheting. Let's see. I honestly have really been getting into, I mentioned this last time we talked about hobbies. I've been dancing a lot just for fun, just to like get my body moving because I'm going stir crazy and I'm usually very active. And I've also been getting into doing some like at-home workouts and trying to like, I don't know, like build up some muscle tone, because usually I'm just a runner. But I'm like, you know what, maybe I could use this time to experiment with different kinds of fitness. So I've just been moving around a lot. I would say that's my hobby. What about you, Nicole? Any new hobbies you've discovered during quarantine?
Yeah. So I mean, I did crochet before, but I've been doing more of it now. But definitely the pom poms and tassels. But also, I ordered things. I want to start doing lettering. So I ordered a beginning like calligraphy kit, and I'm going to go on Skillshare. I was recommended to a class. So once that kit comes, I'm going to do a little bit of that. I also did, it's funny you mentioned Dennis's sourdough starter. I also have a sourdough starter, and I want to make bread. So that's another thing.
Awesome. Okay, Laura, what about you?
I've started journaling for the first time in a really long time. It was kind of an accident. I was talking to one of my friends and we were like, our feelings keep changing. Like maybe we should do like a spreadsheet of like how we feel just like in a word, like every day. And I was like, I'm going to do that. And it started to go into like a paragraph or 2 or 4. And so, yeah, it's on a spreadsheet. So it's sort of cool.
That is cool. That's awesome because I've been journaling too. I think that's really healthy right now, honestly, just to get your thoughts out, you know? Dennis, what about you?
I'm kind of the Seth school of doing too much, so I actually picked up piano again. I'm learning Spanish, and then again, Bridget, the sourdough starter, is a new quarantine creation. I also started making risotto, so something that I avoided before because I thought, oh, it's too difficult. But I'm from the South. Risotto is not something we normally do, but yeah, no, it's super relaxing and fun to just sit there and stir. Yeah.
Well, I love cooking too, so that's awesome. What about you, Seth?
All right, well, before I go, I just want to say that Flo says, hi, Nicole.
Hi, Flo. Flo was my very first mentor in agenting.
Oh, well, that's great that she's here.
Wow.
Thanks for watching, Flo.
Thanks.
So I have a new Zumba hobby where I do Zumba with my girlfriend every week. That's new. And I doubled down on my learning Japanese, which is very hard. Japanese is a very hard language because there's 3 different character systems. If it was just the one hiragono, I don't remember what it is. If it's just the first one, it would be fine. So I got that one down. It's kind of like Hebrew, but then so I've been doing that. And then I've also been redoubling on reading actual books. And I take an hour and I turn all my things off or I leave them on the desk and I just sit there and I read. Oh, and Rose says, just saw the email to join you. So how exciting. Oh, Kelly's mom asked, is the sourdough starter like Amish friendship bread?
Yeah, it is. It's very much like it, just sourdough instead of the friendship bread.
All right. Well, that's a very well-bred question. Our second roundtable question is, what do you miss the most about the before time? And I'm going to say, I miss theater. I miss Love Quirks. I miss that the most. But other than that, I'm okay. Kelly, what do you miss the most?
Well, first of all, I do just want to say that I took your Zumba class, as you know, and that was harder than it looked, Seth.
I love your video watching you do it with us. It was great.
I finally took Seth's Zumba class, and it's just me, I don't even know what I'm doing. It's super embarrassing. And I was
well, it's really more Emmy's Zumba class. I just stand in the background and I try to kind of not be a fool.
Yeah. Well, I think you did a great job. I honestly just miss people, just sitting and talking with someone and having a conversation face to face. That's honestly the main thing I miss. I miss going out to restaurants and having a cup of coffee with a friend and just visually seeing them. It's been tough. Hopefully we don't have to live like this too much longer, but at least it makes us realize those things are important, you know? So.
Yeah, I had a whole song about it called I Miss People.
Yep.
All right, Nicole, what do you miss the most?
I miss hugging my friends the most. And I miss, especially now that it's beautiful out, I miss being able to go to an outdoor cafe and have lunch or something just outside with other people. I miss that. And the ease. Oh, Paula. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Paula
Patio drinks.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I miss doing that. And the ease of life before. You could just come and go as you please, and now you have to put the mask on and get the hand sanitizer, and everything's closed. And if I want to go to Starbucks, I have to order ahead, or it's just everything is just a few more extra steps to do everything.
Definitely.
Laura, what are you missing the most?
I definitely miss being with my family and friends, and I miss hugging my family. I'm so close to them. I'm 7-8 blocks away and I can't hug them. It's just really hard.
Have you seen them at all? Do you wave?
I do wave. We started waving. We waved from the window. They face the street. And I waved from 6 feet away twice with my mom. So that was pretty good.
Twice?
Yeah.
Wow, you rebel. All right, Dennis, what do you miss?
Dang it, now I have to say my family because Laura came in with a curveball. I'm going to look like a dick. Yeah, I miss being able to visit my family who are on the other side of the country. But locally and for everyday life, I miss brunch. I miss sitting outside at brunch. Henry and I just found this great restaurant in called the Lazy Dog, and they're dog friendly. You sit outside. There's a dog menu, a human menu. It's super chill. It's great. So, yeah, I just miss that sort of ease of socialization and life.
Yeah.
And Kelly's mom agrees with Kelly. Me too, Kel. She agrees with Nicole. I agree, Nicole. And she says, I miss that too, Laura. So
Aw.
she's agreed with 3 out of 5 of us.
Do you want to be on the show?
Come on, Kelly's mom. Miss French too. Miss French too.
Yes, we can have her as a guest one week.
Oh my God. She'll go on it. She'll go on it. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I can't stop looking at Henry. He's so cute. He's like, look at him. He's just so like stoic. He's like, I do miss that cafe.
Right.
Yeah, Smee is on the couch now asleep, and he's like, I'm done for the day. Don't disturb me.
Yeah, this is Henry's desired place every day.
Aww.
Okay, I guess we have one more question then, right, Seth?
Yes.
This is a fun question. So it says, what superhero would you like to be confined with?
This is one I wrote. Usually Kelly writes the
That was a
questions,
good one.
but I wrote this one myself.
That was a very good one, Seth.
Thank you. Thank you.
I honestly have a very specific reason for mine. I'm going to say Spider-Man because I've been getting so many bugs in this apartment, like throughout this whole thing, like really terrifying, huge ones. And I just want Spider-Man here to just like trap them all in a giant web so I don't have to kill them. I've been like facing a lot of bug fears this whole time. I don't know what's going on with my apartment, but it's not been fun. Also, I just like Spider-Man because he's awesome. And Into the Spider-Verse was an awesome movie.
Oh, that was a great movie.
Yeah, like an experience for sure. What about you, Nicole? What superhero would you want to be confined?
I would have to say Bruce Wayne, Batman, because it means you get to stay in Wayne Manor. And you have lots of room and lots of place outside to go and lots of dungeons. Plus, I mean, Bruce Wayne.
That is true.
Millionaire, tortured millionaire.
That'd be a good place to be during quarantine for sure.
Yes, Flo says she lives in a mountain in Virginia, and she's enjoying that being a good place.
Wow.
And then Kelly's mom hopes that the doggy restaurant survives.
Aww.
Aw, I'm sure it will. What about you, Laura?
I don't know if it's cheating, but I'd have to say Superman because I'd want to be able to fly out. So it would be great to just be able to fly around. And
how would that be cheating? That's the question.
I guess you aren't quarantined. You're not like stuck.
Maybe he's an alien. Maybe he's immune.
There you go.
Yeah, he probably is immune. It's not kryptonite.
That would help.
That's a good point. Now I'm second guessing my decision. What about you?
So if we're strictly going off of the cinematic universe, I would have to say Bucky from the Avengers because Sebastian Stan is delicious and tasty. But if we're going out of the comic books, I think it would be really fun to be quarantined with Kitty Pryde from the X-Men because she's super smart and can phase through things. So anytime you want to like just step outside and float on the air above everybody and breathe, she's ready to do that.
But Paula actually just picked who I was about to say, but I swear I was going to say it before she said, but I agree with the Flash. And there's reasons for this because number one, I wrote the question. I had a lot of time to think about it, but Barry Allen, he's like a nerd, just like me. And I think he would be a fun person to have as a roommate, assuming, of course, I lived in a 2-bedroom apartment and, wasn't a studio. But also, because he's the Flash, he can pick up groceries like this. If I'm like, I really want some fresh fruit, he'll be like, okay, hold on. And he'll come back, and he goes faster than all the germs. So, like, they can't attack him. He's like, here's the germ. He goes, nope, no germs. So that's why I picked the Flash. Flo says that Bruce Wayne has a butler too, so that's another perk.
That's right.
But I think we all had really great answers to that, and I'm glad I thought to ask the question. So I'm giving myself a pat on the back since none of you can pat me in the back. But all right, well, thanks guys. This was the best episode yet. Hold on, we got Wilson says Nightcrawler to teleport anywhere in the world. That's a great answer too. And then Maureen gives me an LOL with lots of explanation points. But thanks, guys. This has been amazing. We're actually ending the show on time. Well, thank you, Nicole, Dennis, and Laura.
Thank you so much, guys. It was so great chatting with you all.
All right, and we'll put this back up. So thanks for watching, everyone. We still have 12 viewers. This is a record, I think.
Is it? That's great.
Yeah. Awesome. So what's next week? It's Bewildering Children. So I have some friends coming on who have new babies, and they will talk about. That's something I don't know anything about, having babies. So.
Yeah, me either. I mean, I work with kids, but that'll be interesting.
We'll see how they can even talk to us for an hour, you know?
Yeah.
Hold on, one more comment from your mom. Awesome, everyone. So that's great. Thanks, Kelly's mom. All right, so we're going to go. I'll play the theme song one more time, and then we'll be out of here.
Yeah.
What day is it with Seth and Kelly? All right, have a good week, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.